Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What's going on, Habibis? I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Jay Kobbe.
And we're the Habibi Bros. Welcome back. We are doing a post
State of the Union.
SOTU. It is a SOTU stream, sir. State of Union.
State of the Union. The Union is so strong.
It's so strong.
Just like how united my balls are to Fuzzy's mom's face.
That's pretty united, actually,
it is,
Jay.
It is.
Unironically. Very, very.
You can't even slip a pubic hair in
no
between.
Daylight.
None. Zero.
Nothing.
Well, I mean, but if you stretch the ball sack.
Are you talking about the bat? Are you talking about the bat wing?
Yeah, the bat. Yeah.
Anyways, Habibis, welcome. We are kicking it. We just watched the State of the Union. If you're listening to this like after the fact, like not live, here's a summary of it. Old man yells at cloud and then yells at black people
and mumbles.
Well, yes, of course. Well, he was high on a lot of drugs, okay, and then the drugs started wearing off, and that's when the mumbling started happening. Right.
I wonder what that cocktail is, because honestly, I would like to take that cocktail.
Jay, honestly, with how let's just say this: whatever you're on right now would kill Joe Biden. All that
five dick, the five gas station dick pills I just took,
and the Zin. Not to mention, like, you probably down like half a bottle of Angel's Envy.
Well, yes. Look, it's I'm probably a genetic freak,
unfortunately,
and I think this until I actually go and do a physical later in the year and they check my liver, because that's the first thing I'm going to ask them to check.
Right.
Because since I've been here, I think I've finished like 8 bottles that are over there. One big Grey Goose bottle, some other. Yeah, there's a lot of alcohol I finished that was in these cabinets.
I'm a bit concerned. I'm worried about your health, Jay.
I'm still doing okay. I got to wake up nice and early for tomorrow.
I know. I'm worried. For those of you who don't know, Jay's going on a road trip over the weekend. Except you're flying, so it's not really a road trip.
I mean, it's from here to Tampa. It's a road trip.
He's putting out. you gotta, Jay. I know you gotta. You have a. It is a long way for you to give up the bussy, but I applaud your commitment.
When I'm doing sales and they say that they're going to buy anything, I give the bussy.
You got to give it up.
I give it up.
I'm gonna turn up the fan. It's a little warm. I've been schwitzing.
Just talking about my bussy gets you hot.
It really does. I got to drink some water because that bussy making me wet. Anyways, Jay, we were watching the State of the Union. I think a lot of people were saying, oh, this is more of a campaign speech. Yeah, it was, for one. But I start to think, who is watching the State of the Union and is actually like convinced by Biden's sort of empty platitudes and overtures and saying, oh, I'm going to do all this shit, does none of it. Like, he's basically saying, I'm going to do all this stuff, but I'm only going to be president for like another like 10 months. So reelect me.
Right. It's going to be the type of people like the bitch tit Tom.
I would call it Tim. Call him Tim now.
He's a bitch tit.
Tim Nichols.
Whatever the fuck. These fake pundits and conservative pundits that want to get money from rags like the Atlantic or rags from the New York Times. So you're going to see David French come in and talk about. God, David he's French. Probably going to be coming in saying like the conservative case for Biden's next year, or some garbage bullshit like that you're going to see him write for the New York Times. And they say this type of shit because they like that check that comes in the fucking mail from these fucking places.
Really?
And it's hilarious because you have the type of person like Tom.
Everybody has a price.
Nichols, who's who likes to blame the average American for the downfall of experts when he himself
is literally the expert who fell.
Not
who
just
fell off.
Who is,
fell off hard.
Is a shameless grifter.
Yeah.
Like he's a known shameless grifter. As
it
an
is actually
American, you're not going to trust him.
It is absolutely amazing how the trajectory that what's his name, David French took with his writing career, with his columnist career, because he went from, respectable conservative
Christian.
Well, I think he's still Christian.
Well, I mean, the way he shits on Christians now compared to before is like it's
I guess
totally different.
So basically, he's turned into Joe Biden,
right? Well, he's trying to say like you're not a good enough Christian and you're not a good enough conservative because you're not following what I'm telling you. That's basically a David French article. That's right. What it is. You're beneath me because I suck Jesus's dick.
Yes,
that's what it is.
Interestingly enough,
and also he did a great job in the yard the other day, and I think it's because of the blowjob. Jesus.
Oh yes. Sorry, it took me a second because I only know him by Jesus, not Jesus. Sorry. Anyways, Habibis, we don't plan on taking too long because Jay has to get up early and it's just late. Daddy needs to go to sleep. So,
especially before your kid kicks your ass.
Oh
in
man,
like 30 minutes.
She's kicked my ass so hard today.
It's like 30 minutes.
It's been nonstop today.
I'm gonna put on my my noise canceling headphones and stuff, and then just fall asleep.
Thank you.
While you guys are like with the chaotic chaos.
This guy like never charges his phone overnight.
I do. Well, look.
Like it gives me anxiety that I look at your phone and it's already in red and it's like 9 a.m.
It's because I play like Zen.
Zen or Zen?
No, I quit Zen.
You quit Zen and now you're all about the Zen.
The Zen. So it's I listen to like white noise space music.
Okay.
Or space noise.
Yeah, I think I do the same kind of sort of.
So it helps me dream like I'm in space and like doing space missions and stuff, and I forget to put my phone on charger.
Jay, space isn't real, so I guess
I realize like that my phone's not on charger, but like I'm too comfortable. So do I sacrifice maybe not having a phone for like 30 seconds in the morning?
You really do tweet a lot for a person who has like no battery.
Because I like to live on the edge.
You really do.
Every time I hit that tweet button, it could be my last.
Like I don't think my phone has gone below 50% in like 2 years.
Oh, dude, I wake up at 15%. Going.
Like I have an absolute panic attack when my phone gets below.
And the funny thing is like
50%.
I'm worried about it because I'm always up by like 6:30, 7 o'clock, no matter what.
I know.
I mean, you've seen me down 2 bottles of fucking whiskey and still get up at 6:30 in the morning. And go to
look.
I think
Joe Biden needs to adopt your routine. Honestly, the dude's been sleeping till noon. He's on Siraj hours right now.
That's probably.
But like Siraj pre-child.
Yeah, pre-child. I mean,
Siraj now
you can't.
Siraj now is like
it's all over.
All over the place.
You can't pin it down.
Yeah, I mean, I was supposed to have a mustache like last week, but I haven't had the time to even go out and get it.
No, you're not going to get it either because I saw how your wife looked at you when you mentioned it. We're both supposed to like shave and just have our mustache going, but I could already tell it's vetoed. Like,
it's vetoed a little bit, but like, fine, be that way, Jay. Piece of shit. Anyways, anything that we can really glean. All right, so we got some highlights from the State of the Union. I think we do.
Yeah, there's some.
You wanna throw them up because I don't have it in front of me.
Insane.
There were some really bad.
That's on YouTube.
Really bad moments from that speech, and I think it's interesting that he opened up by basically talking about the state of every other union. He's talking about Ukraine. He mentioned fucking Hitler in like the first couple sentences. And I don't know, it seemed like, and then he talked about Sweden, right?
Yeah.
and that was all in like the first 5 minutes.
So he was talking about Sweden
joining NATO.
Sweden and Finland joining NATO.
Sweden and Finland joining NATO.
Right. And
then he talked about Ukraine.
And he talked about Ukraine, and he talked about Putin.
And then he talked about
And he talked about
look at
his 4 million person bribe that he gave.
What?
The student forgiveness.
Oh yeah,
it's an absolute fucking bribe. Like that's how you have to talk about it.
That is, yeah, no, totally. He's absolutely 100% bribing the people for votes. Everything that happened though tonight seemed very disingenuous. It was a test of wills, Jay, because it was a test to figure out just how insane he could make you. And honestly, he did a pretty good job of driving us insane.
Well, and it was really hilarious because you have people saying this is like the strongest State of the Union and stuff. In the first 30 minutes of it, he was calling all of his political opponents Nazis.
Right.
He was bringing in a comparison to 1941 State of the Union with FDR, talking about Hitler.
Right.
And he's like, and now I'm coming in the same. We have the same danger against democracy is happening right now. And he's talking about Donald Trump, and he's talking about Republicans.
Yeah.
And you have to just see it for what it is. He took the opportunity to go on here, and instead of unite people to talk about our common goal, he wanted to divide even further.
So this from Justin Wolfers, who tweeted, "My word, this is a muscular speech. So far, it's the strongest State of the Union opening I've ever seen." Who's this Justin Wolfers anyways? Oh, a professor at University of Michigan. Opinion discarded.
Absolutely, especially because he's fucking from Michigan. But if you see one of the tweets, if you go down,
which one?
Go down, scroll down.
Oh,
one of the replies. There you go. That's it right there, baby.
Don't clap too loud, Jay. You're gonna wake up the baby.
I have an insane problem with my clapping.
You really
it's
need
like
to
one of
stop
the most annoying claps ever. And I don't mean it to be very loud.
I know.
Every time it's just, you know what it is?
What?
God gave me the power to clap cheeks.
Yeah, but you're clapping. You need to be clapping cheeks.
So when women hear the way I clap, they're gonna understand.
Stop that shit.
Oh, sorry. They'll understand. You're like, stop that. My wife can hear.
No, it's not even my wife. If you wake up the baby, I'm forcing you to go put her back to sleep.
I know. I'm playing.
I'm not letting you sleep until she's asleep.
I'm not going to do it anymore.
Get the fuck out of my house, Jay. Oh, I forgot to mention, Biden actually tried to, I wouldn't say tried to, I think he was successful in actually threatening the Supreme Court justices to their faces over abortion. And he actually had to read from a teleprompter in order to issue this.
And with all due respect, justices, women are not without electoral power. Electoral or political power. You're about to realize just how much you're right about that.
It's like it was just an all, and you're about.
Look at their faces. Even Sonia Sotomayor and Olega Kagan, they're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Did he just? I mean, even
Ketanji Brown. You can't see it because there's another woman clapping in front of her face.
But she's also looking at it like, "What the fuck?" I mean, you can't. They want to delegitimize.
Yeah, no, look at her face now. That's definitely. She's definitely. That's a frown right there.
Yeah, that's like, what are you saying? And it's so funny because this is the type of rhetoric, and these are the type of things that happen that are detrimental to the norms of society that is the United States. SCOTUS has a huge role in checking executive power, and they hate that, and they want to get rid of it.
They want to expand. Well, they want to expand and pack the court because they want to be able to put on as many libs as they can, and basically dilute the vote.
Right. But if you had Trump go after them the way that the Democrats go after them, you would hear it nonstop from the media. And you're going to find out that zero people, especially like frauds like Jake Tapper, are going to actually call them out on this garbage.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would be very surprised if anyone on the and then mainstream corporate media actually said something negative about Trump, about Biden's speech.
Oh, it's going to be a very, very hard thing to see.
Very difficult.
Especially his fucking what's it called? His idea for Gaza is to have American boots on the ground in the ports of Gaza.
We all know that they're going to get killed basically like tomorrow.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, you put Americans on the ground. One of those Americans are gonna they're gonna get, they're gonna get got, right. Hamas is gonna target them.
We saw that happen from the Houthis.
Right. No, but I'm just saying that Hamas is gonna specifically target these American troops, and all of a sudden you're gonna have a fucking all-out war.
And dude, did you notice how 13 members of Afghanistan were missing from here? And not only that, also the 3 who were killed recently this year.
Yeah.
None of their family were there. None of them were talked about. And we have the media members talk about how Biden is such a compassionate consoler in chief,
right? Because
of Bo and how he talks and lies about Bo dying in Iraq.
Yeah.
But he didn't have there. 0 of them were actually there.
So this is an interesting
that's not going
moment.
to get called out either.
No, it's not. This is
especially Jake Tapper, you fucking fraud. That is something that if you actually cared about veterans and you actually cared about the armed forces, like you pretend to tweet about, you would actually talk about this. But he's not going to, because he's a fucking fraud. Jake Tapper, the fraud.
Biden finally addresses the murder of Lake and Riley. Yeah, this is a moment I actually didn't think was going to happen, but it happened.
It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner. Not really. Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand.
But what does he say? Like
my son, and also I've had children who were killed. My son Bo was killed by an illegal immigrant, an illegal alien.
Dude, I was waiting for that too.
I know he was definitely going in that direction.
I honestly thought that he was actually going to say.
I know the family. I know the family of Lake and Riley, and they can relate to my son also dying at the hands of an illegal alien
in Iraq.
Yes.
The guy the shamelessness that he uses the deaths of his kids is sick.
One of the biggest scam artists, con artists of this century. Look. It is a politician's job to lie. It's basically inherent, right?
Yeah.
Joe Biden has been a career politician for over 50 years. And the fact that people still take him at his word and still think that he's some sort of good guy is a ruse that I don't understand how anybody continues to believe.
A loving family man is what they say.
A loving father.
A loving father. This is from our objective, unbiased journalists.
Absolutely insane. So let's see. There are a few other things. Oh, this is good from Long Monkeypox. Say his name, Lincoln Riley. What do you think? What is the University of South Carolina? I'm sorry, it's not South Carolina. What is the University of Southern California going to do now after Lincoln Riley? Poor guy.
I don't know.
Really feel
stuck at college football.
Really feel bad for. Really feel for his family right now. So yeah, that was the State of the Union, and one other component of this was pretty interesting was the fact that Biden said that crime has never been lower than it is during his presidency, and that he specifically highlighted how crime was so rampant in the year before his presidency. I fucking wonder why, Jay. Why was that in the year before Joe Biden's presidency? Why was crime up so much?
The 2020 riots. the 2020 absolute destruction of every major city in the United States, over $3 billion in damages that they were pushing and calling for more. And from people like Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi and all of these people, that they didn't want to, the DAs of those cities didn't want to go and arrest the rioters and protesters. Well, protester is a protester, whatever. But when they start damaging property and all of that, that's a rioter, and they need to be arrested and taken into custody. And they didn't do that.
Destruction of property is not a victimless crime. There was actually someone who tweeted that shit out, that destruction of property. Like, imagine, I think it was someone who tweeted out earnestly in response to someone talking about property destruction, being like, imagine imprisoning people for a victimless crime.
Yeah, and I think it was car theft too.
Yeah, it was auto theft. That's right.
And the funny thing is, auto theft is, how do you know that's a victimless crime? Maybe that's the only car that they have to take their kids to school. Maybe that's the only car they have to go to work to actually make money to put food on the table.
You know,
maybe it's the only car that they have to take their grandmother to the hospital.
There was a time when people who would steal other people's horses were executed.
We need to bring that back.
Yeah.
You know what deters crime a lot? Chopping off the hand, like in Saudi Arabia or the UAE.
So you're saying that, maybe Sharia is the way.
Of course, Sharia is the way.
I love it that it's coming from you, the atheist. Anyways, while all of this is happening in the country, specific, why is this not showing? God damn it. There we go. Okay. All the while, Biden touts how crime has dropped. This is what's happening right now in New York. So Mara Gay, back in June 2020, responding, Mara Gay, who, by the way, is a member of the New York Times editorial board, responding to New York Times op-ed. Extremely great. In fact, I would argue the Einstein of our generation.
Uh-huh. I mean, I think she was talking about
the Alan Turing of our generation.
Something like Elon,
because she's gay.
Yeah.
And so is Alan Turing.
I get you.
You get it?
Yeah, the guy who did the German decoder machine.
Yeah.
Right.
The what's it called? The Enigma machine. Enigma. The Ligma machine. Anyways, Mary Gay tweeted out in June 2020 about the Tom Cotton headline, "Send in the troops." Well, this is actually the Tom Cotton op-ed. She said, "Running this puts Black people in danger and other Americans standing up for our humanity and democracy too." And then it gets better. This coming from Mara Gay, the same editorial board member, after the National Guard was deployed in New York, specifically in New York City and their subways. She writes, "The National Guard might help subway riders feel safer." And then follows up by saying, "New York City cannot function without a thriving subway, and ensuring that the system not only is safe but feels safe is paramount. So Governor Kathy Hochul's decision to deploy 750 National Guard members and 250 New York State police officers to subways after a spate of attacks is the right one. Remember, it's okay when we do it."
But what's really funny about this too is, like, you know how they say property damage is a victim's crime, but they need so it's okay to destroy the worker's place of business, but you need to keep his transportation to his destroyed place of business. Okay, I mean, all of it
makes sense.
It doesn't. It makes no sense, because from the very beginning, their ideology is one of absolute fucking retardation. Like, when you really want to sit down and talk to them about their the way that they think society should be run, it is absolutely fucking retarded. And it just sounds like the laziest and the people who provide absolutely no benefit to society are the ones who need to succeed the most. But the smartest ones and the ones who actually put in effort and work hard, they need to be demonized and pushed down in society in comparison.
They need to be pushed down and ass up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, that is the best position.
So here's one thing that's interesting, and this is coming from the from Super Tuesday. Okay, now let's just fucking watch a clip.
I mean, if you look at some of these exit polls, I mean, I live in Virginia. Immigration was the #1 issue.
Yeah.
I mean, again, these could change in Virginia.
Well, Virginia does have a border with West Virginia. Very
but
contested
you're
area.
thinking, like, what?
So #1 issue amongst the voters in Virginia. Didn't they just have a 14-year-old who was murdered by an illegal alien?
I think I would actually think to say that she was raped and then murdered. And not only that, even before then, there was a 2-year-old that was murdered by an illegal alien in Virginia as well. This just goes to show that these people live in a bubble that is only for them.
Yeah.
And the reason why that it falls on deaf ears when they start saying that anyone voting in a different way than they are Nazi white supremacists. If that falls on deaf ears, because you cannot be calling the everyday average American who cares for his family and his family's safety Nazi white supremacists because of an issue that really exists. Look, immigration is great. Nobody's saying immigration isn't great. What we're saying is that we have 35,000 Chinese nationalists that are unaccounted for that just went through the border. What we're saying is that we have over 10 million illegal aliens that came in through these 4 years that we have no idea how to track.
Zero
idea.
There's no. You want to talk about like the government?
These deaths are preventable, and they were like these are on.
It's actually kind of amazing how well the government is able to track its own citizens, and they can't track any of these illegals. It's like it's by design, Jay.
Look, the one thing that you have to like, there was Charles Barkley said that if he sees a black person with MAGA or tries to go and vote Republican, he'll punch him in the face.
Which is so weird coming from Charles Barkley.
What the reason why Charles Barkley says that is because he's totally okay with his taxpayer money going to the border to fund child sex trafficking. That's why he's.
I mean, that's kind of a leap, but
no, it's not. Well, if it's not a leap for him to say he was going to go punch a MAGA person in the face because they want to care about the border, then it's not a leap to say that that's exactly what he wants, because we are not getting the benefits of like actual immigration by what's going on at the border.
Oh yeah, no, at this point immigration is very much a it's become too costly to the American people.
Right. And Charles Barkley allegedly is okay with the sex trafficking.
Nice save there, Jay. Anyways, Gavin Newsom, after the State of the Union, says, now let's go reelect Joe Biden as president of the United States. You know how catty that fucking guy is. He's just like slay queen, and then like he's definitely calling up like a Haitian witch doctor to cast a voodoo spell on Joe Biden. And that Haitian witch doctor is Kamala Harris.
I mean, I don't think we would have anything better with a Gavin Newsom running for president or being president of the United States either.
So
I think the people, the pundits, and a lot of these other political analysis are dead wrong on the popularity of Gavin Newsom. He's hated.
Yeah,
people look at him as a sleazy motherfucker, like a complete piece of shit. Even in California, people look at him as a sleazy motherfucker. But because California is just so fucking enriched and blue, no matter who, it doesn't matter.
In fact, it's funny because in California this past week, they're on Super Tuesday, Katie Porter lost in the jungle primary for the states for the U.S. Senate seat. Adam Schiff, and then the Republican, I think it was like Steve Garvey or something like that. They'll be facing each other off in November. Katie Porter lost by 20 points, but then went on Twitter to basically say the shit was rigged. So fucking
like
funny.
Her own statement said rigged in the thing. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
it's so funny. It's so funny how they can change the rhetoric up, like no matter what, how they want to do it. Like they will be saying and accusing the election of fraud, but that's for the better of democracy. But if you question it, then you are a Nazi.
You're a Nazi who's going to get thrown in Gitmo. You don't deserve any freedom. And I will say that Jay and I want you to be free. We even want our ideological opponents to be free. Maybe Jay not so much. I'm sure he wants to throw everyone in prison, but that's okay.
Anyone who has been a journalist for CNN in the past 15 years need to go to jail.
Jay, would you throw me in prison because I appeared on CNN?
No. Appeared on CNN is totally okay.
Okay.
They're fine.
Actually, there were shows I wasn't invited back to because I tore them up.
I'm sure.
I remember going on one weekend. I think it was discovered that it was a New York Times report saying that the FBI had put Donald Trump under counter surveillance or under surveillance, basically before the election. So they're trying to make it as these hosts and analysts were trying to make the argument that, oh, Donald Trump must have done something really bad to deserve being surveilled by the FBI.
Right.
And then I went on and basically said, you're all on crack. And the fact that the FBI just took that, made that move to survey a presidential candidate based off of, hearsay allegations.
Right.
And the fact, and also this fucking Michael Steele dossier, really goes to show you just like how far our institutions have fallen. And I have to go find a clip.
My favorite thing is watching actual like other Republicans or Republican pundits. So the Speaker of the House was talking about how
Mike Johnson,
how he's going to cut like 6% of the FBI, 6% of the ATF, and all of these federal government agencies. And you had some of these pundits like quote tweet to try and do a gotcha saying like, oh, so defund the police. And it's like, God, if you can't notice the difference between what the FBI is doing and then what a local police does in
like
places like El Paso and places like San Diego and stuff like that.
It's federal police, federal law enforcement versus local law enforcement.
Right. It's it's two totally different.
Shows you how retarded these people are.
Right. It's fucking amazing that they think that is some sort of gotcha.
Speaking of retarded, Jay, how much do you hate retarded coffee?
Dude, I fucking hate retarded coffee. I can't stand it.
I really hate retarded coffee, which is why Jay and I are so excited to introduce 1775 Coffee Company. I think it's time. Oh, it's been a long enough day, Jay. I need this release.
I got you, baby.
Thank you. That's right.
I got you.
So I don't know if you have anything pulled up, but in 1775, the world reawakened to a new era, and now 1775 Coffee Company is bringing you a coffee that embodies that revolutionary spirit. That's crafted with precision and passion. Their beans are ethically and exclusively sourced from the finest coffee farms of Bolivia. 1775 Coffee Company's farm-to-cup journey ensures the highest quality, authenticity, and sustainability from start to finish. Jay and I know this because we actually finished a whole bag of the dark roast, which was
it was absolutely
it was legit.
And not only did we do it in coffee, I also made some really good tiramisu.
Oh, that's right. That
like
tiramisu was banging. Absolutely banging.
And one thing that's amazing about 1775 is their partnership with Rumble.
Right.
Rumble is going in out of their way to make sure that they get proper local products that they can actually support and be a part of in order to make sure that free speech is still a huge value on
and defended
for the creators.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and defended. So they're not going to be holden against anything that's being said by their creators because they're able to use their own products.
So choose 1775 coffee by going to 1775coffee.com/coffee bros and use the code coffee bros for 10% off at checkout on your first order.
I know I'm going to brew myself a nice cup tomorrow, but before I go to the airport in Tampa.
Hopefully you shit your pants. But anyways, that's 1775coffee.com/coffee bros using the promo code coffee bros for 10%.
Freedom.
You better. It's liberating.
It is.
1775 Coffee. brewed to perfection, crafted with revolution. And now that we've gotten through our sponsor, Jay, I think it's time that we unveil the list, the top 10.
Let's do it.
Let's
baby.
fucking go. All right, let's go ahead and.
We're only 30 minutes in and haven't done the first one yet.
Well, now we can speed through them.
Let's go.
All right, so this is Newsweek opinion, which is funny because let's see who wrote it. It was Amicia Cross. Okay, gotta be a lib.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely a lib. This is I'm gonna blame Batya for this one.
Oh, for letting it go through.
Yeah,
you can. I mean, but the thing that is good with Batya is that she lets people say their opinions.
That's true.
Write their opinions.
But still, I'm blaming her for it.
Yeah, we're still gonna blame her.
We should absolutely blame her for it. Anyways, this tweet from Newsweek Opinion, number 10, says Clarence Thomas is not a black hero. He's an enemy of black people. I'm sorry. Are black people not allowed to think for themselves and succeed? And do they have to basically do everything for the cause of their own people?
It's
That's basically what they're arguing.
Well, and also, what are you to say that Clarence Thomas doesn't do anything for the cause of black people?
Yeah, if anything, he's done more for black people than
to get to where he was, and also fight through the
Bro,
false accusations.
Think of how many
black
babies. Think of how many black babies he saved by ruling in favor of overturning Roe v. Wade.
Dude, it's so amazing because they like to say accusations of rape against black people are racist. But when it came to Clarence Thomas, it was believe her no matter what.
Right.
And all that kind of garbage bullshit.
I believe Anita Hill.
That's her name. That's her name. Because Clarence Thomas is the more famous black person.
What's interesting? What's interesting about that whole saga is that Joe Biden was the head of the Senate Judiciary Committee that basically held that confirmation hearing.
Oh, yeah.
So,
okay. I remember how he went hard to attack him.
Yeah. All right, coming in at number 9.
They're gonna beat that dead horse over and over
and over again.
It doesn't stop.
Oh, this is the tweet I was talking about. This was the one. So the Globe and Mail tweets out, Polivier says 3 auto theft convictions should mean 3 years in prison. And then Nora Laredo tweets out, imagine jailing people for a victimless crime. This got a community note saying stealing someone's property, in this case, a car, does in fact produce a victim, the owner of said car. And that's from, and they're not even quoting like things like live stuff. They're quoting Canadian law.
Also Canada law. Not even a conservative outlet or anything. Just straight up
Canadian law.
Canadian law.
No,
and we all know like how lenient Canadian law is. Well, how harsh they can be if you mispronounce a pronoun or
they make you say sorry.
Sorry.
All right.
You don't want to use Zer.
Number 8, we got LA Times opinion tweeting out opinion age matters, which is why Biden's age is his superpower. Now, this was actually written and posted after Biden delivered that press conference. You remember that one?
There was a few that he did, but which one?
No, it was specifically the one where he was quote unquote exonerated by the special counsel over his handling of classified information. Remember that?
Oh, right.
Yeah. It feels like a long time ago.
Yeah, it does. And how in that report they're talking about how his age and his memory is going to shit.
Right.
Because
he was talking about like the president of Mexico, El Sisi.
Yes. On the border of Israel.
On the border of Israel.
On the border of Israel.
And then he also was talking about, oh God, I remember he this is why we're changing up the format, Jay, because I can't remember what happened a month ago anymore. We have to do these lists weekly now.
I think so too.
Even honestly. If we don't get a top 10 out of it.
No, as long as we get like at least like 3 or 4 out of
the
it.
Monthly,
just to go over it.
The monthly thing didn't,
it cycles too fucking much.
Yeah, there's too much turnover. In fact, I think I would argue that more and more people are coming back to Twitter because we're back in the election cycle. So I think we have to adapt and we have to basically go back to weekly. So
I'm with you.
This is the first one, and hopefully next week on Thursday we'll be doing another list, inshallah.
Inshallah.
And Yeah, that'll be fun. Anyways, it's actually quite incredible. If you went to this this article, Bill McKibben, I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but it's basically, if you look at I can't even make sense of it.
No, you
And
can't. It's
nor do I
because-
want to.
It's because they go around in a circle to try and say that his experience and age and all this type of bullshit like makes him a proper speaker, and it's just very hard to take that seriously, especially when he starts mumbling the most important parts of his different speeches.
100%. This is the next tweet, number 7. Mayor Eric Adams, New York City mayor, tweets out: murders are down, shootings are down, transit crime is down, car thefts are down. The safest big city in America just got even safer. Let's read. Oh, from March 6th. This is literally from yesterday, Jay.
And what happened today?
And what happened literally that it was either today. I thought it was yesterday or the day before.
Oh no, it was the day before.
It was this sometime this week. New York Governor Kathy Hochul deployed the National Guard in New York City subways because after a spate of crimes, basically I wouldn't call them high profile, but they got a lot of attention.
But you know, a lot of these crime statistics are bullshit because they're not even reporting.
Yeah, because when you when you
don't
don't report crime, then crime goes down. Just like COVID cases, Jay.
Amazing. Isn't that amazing how that happens? Because they change it where they think that something that should be a crime is no longer a crime. Like when the Washington Post did the fact check about how the crimes committed by illegal aliens is down.
Right.
So they're not really criminals, but 100% of illegal aliens are criminals.
Who the
100%.
There was someone that I can't recall if this was on Twitter.
And that's how they fucking like to mess
It
around.
was
with
fucking Geraldo Rivera. You know what? Where's that Geraldo?
I think you can find it.
I think we can find that tweet. It's so ridiculous. I have to show it to you.
Get it, baby.
Let's see. Oh, come on. Please. He tweeted out so much in the last day or two. But basically what I'm getting at is that he made the argument. This is it. Look at this. I actually think this might be list worthy. Many of the folks most concerned with illegal immigrant aliens have never actually seen one. Who actually goes around asking people about their documentation status? Seriously, who's doing that?
Dude, I've seen 4 in taco trucks.
Like, but even then, how do you know that they're illegal?
How he wants to, you don't.
Yeah.
But if that's how he wants to play the game, we can play that game. If he wants to play the game that way, like it's absolute fucking ridiculous the way that the way that he's talking about this.
Yeah. Do we think this should be in the top 10?
I think so.
Where would you put it?
I'll put it at 8.
So you would bump out Newsweek Opinion, put Nora Laredo. So you bump out Newsweek Opinion, which is the Clarence Thomas tweet.
Yeah, the reason why I bumped that one out is mainly because it's a take that we've always seen over and over and over again.
Nora Laredo then will be at 10. So Ben, make those changes right now. LA Times Opinion at was it at 9? We'll put Mayor Eric Adams at. Oh wait, no, we're putting Geraldo Rivera at 8. Let's go.
Let's do it.
I'll make that change right now on the list log. And I'm pretty sure what's his name. Ben's gonna shoot me, but it's okay. It's not like he can walk over and shoot me.
Right. We want to be able to.
So coming in at number, so we got that at 8. We got at 7 Mayor Eric Adams. Let's go to number 6. Number 6 is Harry Sisson. Jay, are you familiar with this guy?
I am. He is a paid actor by the DNC to absolutely fucking lie to the American people.
And the thing about Harry Sisson is that in this tweet, he writes, insurrection sympathizer Clarence Thomas ruled that insurrectionist Donald Trump can remain on the ballot in 2024. That should be the headline. Oh, Harry Sisson, it was a 9-0 unanimous ruling, yet you only want to pick on the black guy. It's very on brand because Biden did the same during his State of the Union, right? He was yelling at
Yeah,
the one
it was
black
that
guy.
one black guy with
Who's
his
like
daughter going to college.
Yeah,
How dare your fucking daughter go to college?
amazing.
That's what he's yelling at.
Spencer, this guy goes to GW. God. Or he did. Doesn't matter.
It's amazing. Absolutely fucking amazing. And watching his TikToks and the way he lies to people is just fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Master Thief on Local says, dude, go to Home Depot any Monday to Saturday morning. You'll see plenty. And by plenty, he means illegal aliens. Actually, yeah, I have seen a ton, even in Virginia. There were a lot in Virginia. Right. And actually, speaking of which, even while in Virginia and this whole conversation about illegal immigrants and illegal aliens, it's not like they stay on the border once they're in the country. They came all this way specifically from, South America, Central America, and they came from fucking overseas. You don't think that they have the ability to then move around in the country? Like, what the fuck are these people smoking that they can't like rack their brain around that?
Right.
It's absolutely insane. So coming in at number 5, we got Keith Olbermann. Keith Olbermann tweeted that the Supreme Court has betrayed democracy. Its members, including Jackson, Kagan, and Sotomayor, have proved themselves inept at reading comprehension, and collectively the court has shown itself to be corrupt and illegitimate. It must be dissolved. It's so redheaded libertarian Josie responds by saying, dissolve the separation of powers to save democracy. Keith Olbermann responds by saying, if the political whores on the court are overruling quite explicit language in the Constitution to benefit one politician, your separation of powers died long ago. But that's not actually the highlight of this thread.
No.
The highlight is specifically right here where Gunther Eagleman responds to him by saying, cry more, 9-0. And then Keith Olbermann responds to that saying, those aren't tears, fascist. They're urine. I'm sure you enjoy being bathed in it. Which ended up, if you see that ratio, that's 10,000 replies, all talking about how Keith Olbermann pees out of his eye.
Right. And it's funny because he's thinking that he's talking about Greg crying with
urine.
With urine, but he doesn't understand he was talking about himself. It's so good.
I just don't.
It's fucking hilarious. Oh my god.
Damien Toll coming in here saying, did you just say that your face is covered in piss? It's just beautiful. That's so Keith Olbermann, thank you for giving us that treat this week. We needed it. Coming in number 4, we got ABC News. Now, this is actually what the State of the Union, that moment with Lake and Riley. This is what actually the what happened. But it's the framing of what happened that makes this list worthy. So ABC News tweets out the death of a 22-year-old nursing student in Georgia, Lake and Riley, who, by the way, the ABC News didn't write out in this tweet. I had to say that so people know what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. The death of a 22-year-old nursing student in Georgia who was killed while out for a run has turned the spotlight once again on the dangers women face while running outdoors.
And again, they admit that she was killed by
an illegal alien.
And even in the article, they say Athens man. They do this on purpose. It's just completely fucking omit and lie to their readers and to change the narrative. And it absolutely deserves to be a spawn to list.
100%. Essentially. Coming in number 3, we got the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. They actually have a twofer over here, okay? But it's in relation to the Lake and Riley murder by an illegal alien. By the way, I don't remember. I think it was actually the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, or maybe it was another publication that basically wrote a headline that said, well, now all the Venezuelans are facing a backlash over this Lake and Riley murder. It's the Norm Macdonald joke all over again.
Absolutely. like 9/11 happens, and we're thinking about
all the Muslims,
peace-loving Muslims,
all the peaceful Muslims. Yes, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution tweeted out, breaking: a 26-year-old Athens man has been charged with murder in the death of a nursing student of the University of Georgia campus. I'm sorry, was he really an Athens man? Did they hear themselves? Like, who the fuck approved
they do this, and they don't think that they're even doing something wrong.
It's by design, Jay. It's people are evil by design. Here's the other tweet by AJC, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, tweeting out: new top Georgia Republicans quickly tied the killing of a student on the University of Georgia campus to President Joe Biden's immigration policies, decrying what they see as lax border controls after a suspect from Venezuela was charged with murder. I'm sorry, is that considered noteworthy that Republicans pounced on that idea?
Yeah.
Another conservatives pounce.
Well, I can't believe it. That's the real story.
That's the real story.
I mean, all of these, like the conservative pounce bullshit, is just to hide the actual real story that is there, that people are noticing the fucked up policies you guys have been pushing for years and years on end.
And what's so infuriating is that during the State of the Union, Joe Biden didn't take any responsibility for what's happening at the border, even though he has all the power in his arsenal to do something about the border. The reason why he didn't do anything about the border is because he knows that everything he would do is basically what Trump did, and he can never admit he basically undid everything Trump did. Safe third countries remain in Mexico. Basically ending catch and release, things like that. And if Biden were to do those things, it would be an admission, a concession that Trump's border policy and immigration policies were working. Even if it wasn't perfect, it was doing a lot more to curb illegal immigration in along the southern border. And it is absolutely insane that we've reached this point. What I'm saying is that everybody's retarded, and we deserve everything we get. Anyways, coming in number 2, this is some of Jay's probably favorite tweeters right here. So this is a video from MSNBC, specifically focused on, remember Aaron Bushnell?
Yes.
Most people don't. You want to know why? Sydney Sweeney's tits came and just swooped in,
took all that out,
took all the space, that motorboated everything out of here. Watch this.
We have an update now on a truly tragic incident in Washington, D.C. Yesterday, 25-year-old Aaron Bushnell of San Antonio, Texas, the active duty airman in the U.S. Air Force who set himself on fire outside the Israeli embassy in an apparent protest against the Israel-Hamas war, has died. That identification made by Metropolitan Police here. Bushnell filmed his own self-immolation on his cell phone, yelling, "Free Palestine," before collapsing to the ground outside the embassy. He was rushed to the hospital for treatment, but later succumbed to his injuries. And if you or someone you know is in crisis, call or text 988 to reach the Suicide Aid and Crisis Lifeline. You can also call 1-800-27.
Okay, so there's the suicide hotline. All right, that's the shot.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready for the chaser. Trita Parsi here. Let me expand this. So insulting of MSNBC to list the suicide hotline in the segment on Bushnell's self-immolation in protest of Israel's Gaza slaughter. They treat him as if he was troubled by inner demons rather than by the massacre of innocents. If one cannot empathize with Palestinians, I guess it becomes very hard to grasp that others can. Trita, if you feel so strongly and passionate about Palestinians, please set yourself on fire. Nothing is stopping you.
I mean, I can't take you seriously unless you do. I don't think you actually care about the situation.
Light yourself on fire. Just do it.
I don't think you care.
I honestly don't think he wants this war to end because he hasn't lit himself on fire. Yes. I actually think he's on the side of the oppressor, Jay, because he won't light himself on fire.
No,
it's really something. So yeah, that's number 2. But are you ready for number one, Jay?
Let's hear
Are
it.
you ready for number one?
Let's hear it.
Let's fucking go. Muhammad Al-Kurd tweeting out this fucking gem right here saying you can't protest peacefully, you can't boycott, you can't hunger strike, you can't hijack planes, you can't block traffic, you can't throw Molotovs, you can't self-immolate, you can't heckle politicians, you can't march, you can't riot, you can't dissent, you just can't be. So Jay, what I'm saying is that this motherfucker just threw in hijacked planes and throwing Molotovs and acted like we didn't notice that.
Like it didn't go in at the same time. Like, yeah, that's peacefully protesting.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite quote tweets on this is like it was saying prior to 2001,
Yep.
Hijackings were a non-violent crime.
I actually have that. Let's go ahead and pull that up. I thought this was where it could have been top 10, but it's because it's piggybacking off of this Muhammad Al-Kurd tweet. Here you go. Rose Dark tweets out, reminder that plane hijackings used to be perfectly normal and were mostly nonviolent. 9/11 was an outlier and the first of its kind. You read these things and you tell me there is a God.
Right. It's very hard to be convinced that there is a God over shit like that.
Jay, look, I no longer do the list because of I want to correct people's behavior. I don't think half these people are worth saving.
No.
The list was meant to save people from themselves. But how do you do that when all they do is tweet out shit like this? I know this tweet isn't in the top 10 because it's not nearly as crazy as the one that is quote tweeting Muhammad Al-Kurd.
Right.
But still, I don't think we're at the point now where people specifically think the opposite of what is logical and reasonable because it's different from what everyone else thinks or what everyone thinks is rational. It's a very interesting time to be alive, Jay.
It is. It is.
And by interesting,
And
I mean fucking shitty.
It's so insane that they're trying to say like these violent acts are the only way Muslims know how to protest.
Right. And yeah, that's actually the only way Muslims do know how to protest. You hit the nail on the fucking head. So that's your top 10 right there. As Mr. OG listing, George Conway said, well, he was able to save his marriage, right?
Right.
The Conways have lived happily ever after, right?
After.
Right? There's no issues in the Conway household.
None
Zero.
whatsoever. Zero.
Zilch.
They're doing great.
Amazing. Thriving. You could say.
That's how you need to understand.
That's
They need to write a book on marriage.
That's a loving family right there.
Oh yes. How to raise your daughter.
How to raise your daughter and invite journalists to hang out with them.
Yeah. Invite a 45-year-old journalist to hang out with your 16-year-old daughter.
Oh my God. All right, Habibis. Well, that's been, look, I don't know how we got through a list in under an hour, but we somehow did it, Jay.
We did it.
We did it, Joe.
We did it, Joe.
So in the interest of everyone being tired and sleepy, we're going to go ahead and pull the plug here. We actually might finish this episode in under an hour. Insane, right? Who would have thought, Jay?
Not me.
Not me. So Habibis, thank you so much for joining us. You could have been tuning into a lot of different programs tonight because of the State of the Union, but you came to join us and we appreciate that. So thank you so much. Make sure you go hit that like and subscribe button, the join button. If you want to support us, join our locals. We're just two young broke Habibis just trying to make sense of the world.
That's what we're trying to
And we
do.
hope you join us in that process. So Habibis, love you all. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Are we jumping forward, spring forward? Is that this weekend?
That's on Sunday, yeah.
That's on Sunday. Shit. So we're going to lose an hour of sleep, which I can't afford because I have a 4-month-old who's kicking my ass.
Yeah, he is.
She
is.
Jesus Christ, Jay. Did you just misgender?
No, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Bye-bye.
All right, Habibis. Peace out.